Committee of the Whole meeting. It is Wednesday, June 11th. The microphones are working, and we have one case today and then some recommendations for appointments to design review. The first case is ZAC 2025-00005. Who is presenting?
All right, good afternoon. So for the record, Christian Togmas, and I serve as one of the planners here for the city. So this is case ZAC 2025-5, and this is in the Liberty Highlands neighborhood. The owners are Mary Stokes and Julianne Walker, which are the personal representatives of the estate of Clifford J. Balsley Sr., and the applicant is Robert Sprain. They're requesting to change the zone district boundaries from D3, which is our single-family district, to I1 light manufacturing district in order to allow a contractor storage yard with an office warehouse building. The subject property is approximately 1.95 acres and is located at 2542 Queenstown Road between Hattie Street and Queenstown, and it's currently undeveloped and wooded. Now, the surrounding zoning is R2 R2 City of Irondale single family to the north, D3 single family to the south, QI1, which is our qualified light manufacturing district, to the east, and D3 single family and R2 City of Irondale single family to the west. Now, the warehouse is approximately 85,000 square feet, and it will contain building materials, tools and equipment such as shovels, rakes, saws, drills, pneumatic nailers and staplers, motorized equipment such as forklifts, and products such as fasteners, safety equipment, signs, safety cones, and generators. The outdoor storage yard will primarily be used to store the contractor's equipment and vehicles. In the future, the site may serve additional uses such as warehouse and distribution supply, motor freight distribution, and equipment sales and service. The hours of operation will be Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and there will be approximately 10 to 15 employees. The future land use plan identifies this property as light industrial, and I'm going to read the staff comments. So for zoning, all gravel surfaces must be reviewed and approved by the Stormwater Department and the city engineer. Now for landscape, a type C landscaping buffer is required anywhere that the proposed I1 abuts existing D3 properties. Now for stormwater, all permits and ordinances shall apply for any new construction. The property is not located in a special flood hazard area. And from BDOT, the site should include asphalt or concrete abutting the driveway entrance. Now, the Liberty Highlands Neighborhood Association met at its scheduled meeting on April 24th and voted to support the rezoning request. 8 votes to support, 0 not to support. And the Zoning Advisory Committee met at its scheduled meeting on May 6th, and they voted to approve the request and forward to the Planning and Zoning Committee. 5 votes to approve and 0 votes to deny.
Is the applicant here?
Yes. So I'm Robert Sprain from the Freeman Dazio Zelanis Law Firm, 3800 Corporate Woods Drive, Vestavia, which is out in Liberty Park. And so I'm privileged to be here for the Balsley family. Clifford Balsley passed away several years ago. His 2 daughters, as Mr. Thomas explained, Barry Stokes and Julie Walker are his personal representatives handling the estate. And they are trying to sell this property to a contractor. It's under contract. We do need it rezoned, and that's why we submitted the zoning application. I know Mr. Thomas can't confirm, but I understand that the long-term zoning plan for this area is I1. So I'm not sure you said that, but.
Yeah, he said it.
Oh, you did? Okay. Sorry I missed that. And I have a tax map of this whole area. And yes, D3 is around us, but I've highlighted in yellow. To the northeast is the Queenstown Industrial Park, which Mr. Togmas mentioned. But here's our subject property, 2542 Queenstown Road, and right here is all industrial. Right, dividing it is D3, so it's a real patchwork. So I understand when you look at the tax map and see all the industrial, the light industrial uses, you see how long-term it would make sense for it to all be industrial. Going north from the property, the Tetra Roofing Company has 3 of these parcels still in very close proximity to the subject property. And then although it's in Irondale, Stone and Sons Electrical Contractors has a 9-acre tract to the southwesterly location of the subject property. And then across Queenstown is all industrial. And I actually looked it up, the MSC Building Construction, Johnson Battery Company, there's some light industrial zone properties for sale, IMCO Contractors, Wilbur Air Conditioning and Plumbing, I could go on and on, Nichols Industrial Construction, Skyhook Storage. So when you look at the tax map and you plot all of these light industrial businesses, it's very clear this area is a light industrial area, even though it's got D3 zoning. We have Joey Miller, Triplett Miller has prepared a civil plan, which we have submitted. We've spent a lot of time with the city working on that plan to address several issues. We have the borders and the buffers, rather, to meet the requirements of either C2, C3, or C4. So on the Hattie Avenue side, the Hattie Avenue, and then the Johnson Street side. So we believe we've addressed all of the concerns and we've answered all of the questions, and we asked to move forward to the full city council for the approval of the rezoning application from D3 to I1.
Okay, thank you. Do any members of the committee have questions?
No, I was just looking on the map. We actually dealt with a property just down the street at Balco Road. It can't be, I mean, it was maybe 6 months or a year ago.
Is that the fire station?
No, this was the landscaping contractor. They discovered that the property wasn't properly zoned for that business, and so we dealt with a zoning case. And I think it was the same or similar. It was residentially zoned. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, and I agree with you. You know, you drive down Queenstown Road, pretty much everything that you can see from the street is light industrial.
Right.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
the residents are on Hattie Avenue, our residents,
Yeah.
and they're hidden from view.
And some of those houses, either they're gone or they're not occupied. So I don't know, I haven't analyzed the subdivision back there, but there are residents, there's no doubt about it. But we can meet the zoning ordinance by putting up the buffer, which we will obviously do.
So is back up to Irondale? What's the white area in the map?
Correct, yeah.
Irondale.
It's all Irondale, yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, we're close to Irondale, very close. The property line
Yeah.
goes into that Stone and Sons Electrical Contractors property that I mentioned.
These municipal boundaries make all the sense in the world.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I traveled today from Liberty Park, 280, getting here, I was south of town, Indian Springs Village for a meeting, and I probably passed in and out of Birmingham several times. Went up 280, past the Summit's Birmingham, right? So, as a matter of fact, Mr. Balsley was involved in that with Richard Arrington many years ago, because, as I understand it, he worked with the city administration to help get the pathway to annex some property into Birmingham.
The long lasso, they used to call it. I think the legislature has made it illegal now, so it was lucky for us that Mr. Balsley coordinated with Mayor Arrington, or we wouldn't be out there.
Well, you might have been around. Did you know Mr. Bosley?
No, no, I
Okay.
did not. I've
Okay.
just been around a long time.
Okay. Well, he
have-
was, I knew him for a long time before he passed away of a sudden stroke, but he was pretty close with the Arrington administration, and they worked. Also, Milda Gorey had property out there, Queenstown, that area. They still have the, what do they call their farm, whatever.
Yeah, it's on Amber Hills.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a little history.
Well, I was wondering, it says that this property is currently wooded, which of course is quite nice unless you want to build a warehouse on it. Is there any way that you can save any of the existing trees for your buffer, or is bulldozing the entire site a necessity?
I tell you, I will bring it up with Barry Stokes. She lives here. She is a retired lawyer. She worked forever for Protective Life. And so she's very pro-environmental, because when I asked her that at the advisory committee, they mentioned that City of Birmingham recommends, as part of these green buffers, to use some native plants. And I actually mentioned that to her. She said, "Oh, I would love to do that. That's a fantastic idea." So, I would be very much in favor of it if possible. You know what developers do.
Well, yeah,
Rather than
I know
select
what
cut, they will-
developers do,
Oh,
but
yeah.
what I'm asking is you representing the owners, if there are worthwhile trees on the property to, instead of cutting them all down and planting new ones, then if there's something that can be saved, leave a living, productive tree out there. I mean, instead of just,
Clear cut.
slash and burn everything, which is what we do best.
Yeah, right. I will bring it up, and my only concern would be to integrate existing trees. Let's say you have a beautiful old oak, why cut it down? But can you integrate that into the,
Plan.
at the end of the property, the back of the property, either C3 or C4 buffer? Can you integrate an old existing oak into that green buffer?
Yeah.
But assuming
It's
you
just,
can.
it's just a question,
Right,
because I actually studied architecture for 3 years, and so I know just enough to be dangerous. And I know that, you can, the placement of your buildings and your paving and whatever you've got, sometimes it's flexible and sometimes it's not. And I didn't drive out to see this piece of property, so I assume it's flat because you don't want to put a warehouse on a mountain. So just if, it's not a requirement of the city, it's just a question for me, if there are existing trees on a wooded greenfield type lot, can some of them be saved rather than just bulldozing the whole lot and starting over?
So, and I would say yes.
And
If
my
you look at the-
vote is not conditioned on
Right.
this, it's just a question of interest for saving whatever trees can be saved rather than just taking everything out.
Right, just be indiscriminately in the cutting down the trees. If you look at our site plan, which we've submitted, it's feasible for the back part of the property, because you would access the property from Queenstown for your construction, and the back part of the property has to have a buffer. So actually, my client, when they go to build out the site, you actually could save money, because if you can, again, if you comply with the buffer requirements. But on the back part of the property, which abuts Hattie Avenue, and on the west side of the property, which abuts Johnson Street, because I don't think they will be entering there for construction activity. So it's very feasible, and it could actually save them money. But,
Well, that might do the trick.
yeah, and so we would have to, have it approved. I'm sure our buffer would be inspected. We have to make sure that it meets the,
Yeah, the
Require-
staff would have to agree to it, but I just have to assume that keeping old growth trees is preferable to planting a new tree, especially since you have to buy the new tree and you get the old growth for free. So
I've not studied it, but all green buffers are like a screen. And it's mainly visual, but also sound. And so the things you see a lot of times are hollies that fill out, magnolias, the big thick magnolias, other things that grow fast and really fill out. And whether you can integrate all that, you got a big oak with roots, can you do that and actually still accomplish the buffer? So I'll mention to my client, and they will certainly consider that and try to do that, because I think looking at the plan, it's feasible from how the property will be developed.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, Sean?
I have a question.
Yes.
So
Dr.
this
Harquin?
is just mostly for my own education, but it looks like there's a stormwater sewer that goes through the property, according to the site plan.
Right. It's on the east side. It'll be under the gravel storage yard. Correct.
I would expect that that's the city of Birmingham stormwater pipe.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know whether that's, well, I mean, it's existing storm pipe, so it's there now. But we're not going to build on it. So I think.
Right, well, I mean, that's sort of my question is that, you know, how does that work? I would assume there's, you know, an easement across the property for the stormwater. But, you know, if the laydown yard is gonna be gravel, you know, it's probably not an issue. But just something to, you know, keep in mind for the future.
Right. I think, I know it's a submerged stormwater drain like they all are. I don't think it's open like culvert, and I think you can still drive over it, so I don't think we'll interfere with it at all. And by the fact that our engineers drawn it in here, we are considering it, and we will do what we're supposed to do to protect it and preserve it.
I feel sure that's the reason the building was placed where it is, because you can't build a building over a city
Right.
Right.
storm sewer pipe.
Yeah, I've worked with Joey Miller a lot. He's been around, and he knows how to properly handle and deal with stormwater drainage systems.
Anything else?
Nope.
Yes, presumably if we need to dig it up, at least it's just gravel,
It's gravel, correct.
in case it collapses or something that we don't want to talk about. If there are no other questions, do we have a motion?
Yeah, so I'll make a motion that we recommend approval of the zoning request to the full council.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded, and I didn't hear anything, Mr. Togmus, about any queue conditions or anything from the neighborhood people, so I just assumed they didn't have any.
Correct, there was no comments.
Okay, so it has been moved and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So there aren't any to say no, so we will recommend to the full council approval of this item. So it just has to get past the 9 of us.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for
Just out of-
having me, and thank you for your comments.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, who's the contractor that's interested in the property?
I don't know, because my client is, like I mentioned, is a lawyer. She's handled the contract.
Okay,
And I might have that in my computer somewhere, but I can't tell you right now.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
I mean, want to thank them at some point for doing business in the city of Birmingham.
Well, there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. I mean, we love all the activity, especially the cocoa bottling plant in Birmingham.
Right.
That's an exciting story. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next item is the recommendation for one appointment to the Design Review Committee. Did y'all have time to look at the resumes and talk to
Did.
the people?
Yeah, so it's actually a tough choice.
Well, we've got 2 excellent candidates, and my thought is whoever we don't choose, we should save them for our next opportunity, because there will be one,
Right.
so.
So I could go either way. I know both gentlemen, they both, you know, would do excellent I kind of lean towards Mr. Cosper, just based on his previous service on that committee. So he's got a lot of experience. He's also an architect, and I know he's very passionate. So, you know, I could go either way, but
Well, just choose one.
okay. All right, so I'm going to nominate Don Cosper for appointment to Design for Review, and this is a member at large.
Yeah,
okay,
at large.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and properly seconded that we appoint Don Cosper to the at-large position on design review. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that passes, and now we have just the appointment by the full council. Everything will be
Yes.
fine.
We need to take care of our minutes too, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We got them via email.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I just skipped right over approval of the minutes. Is there a motion? Did everybody have time to read them?
Yes,
Yes.
I move for approval.
Second.
Okay. It has been moved and properly seconded that we approve the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that is done. And we are ready for item 5.
I move for adjournment.
Second.
It has been moved and properly, oh. If someone wants to say something, they must come to the microphone. And the microphones are working really well today.
Hey, my name is Lauren Havard. I serve as Urban Design Administrator in the Urban Design Department. Did you get the information about the reappointments for the Design Review Committee by chance?
Via email? Yes.
And I spoke with Dr. Lee this afternoon about them. Should I resend them maybe for the next meeting?
Well, my attitude has always been, if people have been attending the meetings and participating and they're up for reappointment, we should just do it. If they have not been attending and have not been participating, we should find somebody to replace them. So
Sure.
that would be my recommendation to the committee. Did y'all have time to look at them?
I haven't seen him yet.
Okay. Some of them expired in July of last year, and then some expire next month. So I was just trying to lump them all together so that we only had to do it once.
Well, I'm willing to do that, but how do y'all feel?
That's fine with me. I mean, you know, like Counselor Abbott says, as long as they're making the meetings, you know, reappointment's fine.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the reappointments.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 So now.
Thank you.
Now have we done everything?
Sorry, yes, thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm kind of not all here today, so I apologize for that, but it's good that we got it all done. It's good that y'all were sitting back there and paying attention. And help us save as many trees as possible. We might need to put that in our ordinance to, whenever we can save existing trees on a greenfield lot that somebody's gonna bring their bulldozers to visit, it would be good for us to encourage saving existing trees if possible.
It's on our list for the next set of updates to the landscaping chapter.
Well, we're working feverishly, I think, on our new tree ordinance, just trying to get it out before I die. The tree ordinance could also have something in there that points to the landscaping or vice versa. Because, the reason we wanted a new ordinance is because the current ordinance gives no protection whatsoever to anything. It's just, it's kind of a feel-good ordinance, but we need one that deals with our city rights of way and city parks, because people will actually go and cut down trees on property that's not theirs. And that's an issue. Of course, right now, the trees are falling down, but it's not their fault. So are we ready to go back to item 5? I think we've already had a motion to adjourn in a second. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.